All options are on the table. All options are on the table. All options are on the table. All options. I'm telling you that all options are on the table. Everything's on the table. All options are on the table. All options are on the table. All options are on the table.
Good evening, everyone. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day so far. I got a good one for you today. So it seems like Jagmeet came out to give his view on Christopher Freeland's resignation. If you haven't heard about that yet, you have been living under a rock, because all of yesterday has been in turmoil over, well, Christopher Freeland's resignation. And Jagmeet thought he'd come out of nowhere and just give his point of view on the matter. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And with no further ado, let's get into it.
Right now, Canadians are struggling with the cost of living. I hear it everywhere I go. People cannot find a home that they can afford. They can't buy their groceries. And on top of that, we have Trump threatening tariffs at 25%, which put hundreds and thousands of Canadian jobs at risk. And instead of focusing on these issues, Justin Trudeau and the Liberals are focused on themselves. They're fighting themselves instead of fighting for Canadians. And for that reason, today I'm calling on Justin Trudeau to resign. He has to go.
So, not calling for a vote of no confidence. He's calling on him to resign, which literally Jagmeet has been saying this, or pretty dang close to this thing, for the last, I don't know, 3 months, maybe even more. And there literally was like a vote of no confidence 7 days ago, or a confidence vote, sorry, in Parliament, and they voted confidence in the government. So now he's telling Trudeau to resign. It's ridiculous. He just said he wants Trudeau in government.
Will you declare no confidence in the Liberal government as soon as possible?
All tools, all options are on the table. People are hurting. People are struggling. And so all options are on the table.
Just to clarify, you're calling for him to resign, but you are not willing to vote no confidence in his government? How do those two things connect?
All options are on the table.
That's not an answer.
All options.
That's not an answer.
Is this what it's gonna be? Literally, is the whole thing gonna be him saying, oh, all options are on the table, all options are on the table, all options are on the table, all options are on the table? What did Jagmeet expect out of coming out and saying, oh yeah, Justin Trudeau should resign? What did he expect the questions were going to be?
What does this mean for your support with the Liberals, though? How can you say he needs to resign, but then you're not telling us what you're going to do for non-confidence?
I'm telling you that all options are on the table.
Will you support the Fez? And also, are you willing to continue to support the Liberals if there is a different leader aside from Trudeau?
Right now, that's not in front of us. There's no votes in front of us, but we will take each vote. And right now, literally, everything's on the table.
Mr. Singh, that all options are on the table. So why are you holding out the option to still support this government? I understand that you're saying that you might, trigger a confidence vote, but why are you still holding out the option? What is the glimmer of hope that you're seeing to possibly support the Fez or possibly support this government in some other way?
Depends on the votes. And so I want to make it very clear. Justin Trudeau has to go. He has to resign. And because of that, all options are on the table. And we'll look at each vote and we'll make a decision. But now all options are on the table. Paul Wells. Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead, Paul.
Sir,
go ahead, Paul.
Behind you.
So quite literally, I am counting the amount of times he's saying all options are on the table, because I think we're seeing a repeat of the I've ripped up the agreement sort of thing again. And Justin Trudeau has already said that he's not going to resign. He said multiple times before that he's not going to resign. Even after, 24 of the parliamentarians in his own party told him that, hey, we don't like you, we want you to resign. And after the by-election loss in Toronto and a bunch of his ministers quit, he still hasn't resigned. So I don't know how Jagmeet anticipates that Trudeau's going to resign after this. I don't know where that stems from.
Is a parliament. The government continues to govern as long as MPs continue to have confidence in the government. You have no say over who the leader of the Liberal Party is. Will you support the government, or are you withdrawing your support from the government?
With respect to that, I've said that all options are on the table. That means everything is possible. But what is clear, given what we have seen, Justin Trudeau and a Liberal government that are focused on themselves, they are infighting at a time when people cannot even do their groceries. They can't even find homes that are affordable. And we've got the threat of Donald Trump and 25% tariffs that mean hundreds of thousands of jobs are at risk. Because of that, I'm saying very clearly that Justin Trudeau has to resign. All options on the table. Thank you very much. Merci. Thank you.
Should Mr. Trudeau resign?
No. What in the world was that? That was horrible. What did Jagmeet think was going to come out of that? 8 times. 8 times he said, oh, anything's on the table. Everything's on the table. Oh, I got to make a compilation of this.
Why not?
Why should he resign?
His finance minister just quit on it and said he was pushing political gimmicks. I mean, this is a historic.
I mean, we have a difference of opinion. I feel bad that she's not in the cabinet anymore, but she has served very well, and I'm glad that she's staying as an MP and seeking re-election.
But what message does this send to Canadians?
I'm sorry?
What does this say about your government that the finance minister is resigning on the same day she was supposed to table an economic update?
Look, we have a difference of opinion, and I think that's what the democracy is all about.
But there's difference in opinion, but then there's a finance minister saying she has somewhat lost confidence in the prime minister. If she doesn't have confidence to deliver his economic plan, why should Canadians have trust in it?
She has a difference of opinion. Her opinion is different, and maybe prime minister has a different opinion. So she didn't say she lost her confidence in the prime minister.
Well, she can't. She said she.
Yeah, so I guess this is a mixture of what the Liberals' comments are as well, because, man, Jagmeet Singh just booked it out of there as fast as possible. I don't know who this parliamentarian is. I think he's part of the Liberal Party. But Christopher Freeland literally said she doesn't have confidence in Justin Trudeau. And Justin Trudeau tried to override her decisions to not balloon the already ballooned budget. And he wanted her to give a fall economic statement that said that there was a $62 billion deficit. Do you know how much flack she's already getting for a $40 billion budget? Now, Trudeau wanted her to stand up there and do a $62 billion. That would be crazy, the amount of flack she would have got. So, kudos on her to say, hey, I'm going to step down and I'm not going to take a lesser role than the finance minister. Because apparently Justin Trudeau wanted to push her down to a lesser role in his cabinet. So I don't know what that would have been.
Not serving in cabinet anymore. That would mean that.
Yeah, that's when she took a principal stand. We all do that. We all have difference of opinion in the families, and you know.
This is the first time in modern history that this has happened. A finance minister says, "I'm not tabling your document." Doesn't this signal your government's in crisis?
That's her principal stance on the issue that the, we have a situation in the southern border, so everyone has a different way of dealing with the things, and she took a principal stance on her opinion. So
you don't think it's not too serious?
It is serious, but I don't see that where she said she does not have a confidence in the Prime Minister.
What message do you think this sends to Canadians, though? Just having the optics-wise, having the deputy Prime
So
Minister.
in democracy, that's what happens. We have a difference of opinion, but she's still part of the team, and that's a positive message.
How should the Prime Minister move past this?
Prime Minister has to discuss with the cabinet and the colleagues and see how we find the proper way of dealing with the things.
Who would you like to see as finance minister?
That's up to Prime Minister, not up to me.
Shouldn't Mark Carney come in?
That's totally up to Prime
But what do
Minister
you
and
think
the
about
team.
Mr. Carney coming in and being an unelected, someone in cabinet who's unelected being appointed?
I can't
Would
speculate.
you be okay with that?
I can't speculate. It's up to the Prime Minister and the cabinet.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
To Ms. Freeland's decision today?
Sad, surprised.
Well, I mean, it's not Mark Carney because Mark Carney does not want to get in the middle of this. He probably thought about it, looked at what the budget was like. No, I'm gonna wait until the government falls and then maybe step in. But now LeBlanc gets to deal with everything, like all of this mess. I can't believe he's even standing up and taking up the mantle because it's craziness.
And I think it's a devastating blow to the Prime Minister.
What do you think he should do now?
Step down. Time to go.
And then what? And then what? Prorogation, leadership? How do you see this?
I would say prorogation, and then a leadership contest. I think we have great candidates, some outside the party, some inside the party, that could take this party in a new, bold direction. It's a shocking day. I mean, when you get Sean Fraser, who's obviously an Atlantic colleague of mine, and then Deputy Prime Minister with that letter, with the timing of that letter, it's time, again, as I did in June and July, it's time for the Prime Minister to read the room, to listen to his colleagues, to listen to the electorate, to look at the polling that hasn't moved in a year. And I'm also hoping, because of Minister Freeland's bold move, that other cabinet colleagues now are going to step up and do the right thing finally, to tell the Prime Minister, like, this isn't about trying to readjust a little bit going into an election. We need a major overhaul. Like, we're not talking about saving the furniture right now. We're talking about being decimated. And it's disappointing. We're all proud Liberals, and it's really, really sad to see what's going on now. But hopefully with Minister Freeland's letter and the directness and bluntness of that letter and the timing of that letter, that'll be a signal again to PMO and the Prime Minister. It's time to step down.
Do you believe there are
And hopefully by election time, Canadians will send a message to the Liberal Party by making them not even like leader of the opposition and not even the size of the NDP party as they are right now. Like, not even part of Parliament. Like, People's Party sort of level of voting for quite a while. Not 4 years, maybe not even 8 years, but they have to send a clear message that Canadians don't stand for Trudeau-level stupidity and this sort of stuff.
other cabinet ministers, or do you know of other cabinet ministers that are maybe not going to make the same move in the same way she did it, but might be willing to say it is time to go?
I mean, Chrystia Freeland was pretty bold, and again, that letter was direct and blunt. Do I know there are other cabinet ministers who feel the same? Absolutely. Do I hope they will come forward and say what needs to be said? Let's see. Let's hope.
Do you think Trudeau's out of touch with reality?
Have you spoken to other cabinet ministers about this?
Well, I mean, we all talk in lobbies and we all talk in the halls, and I mean, I know there are other cabinet ministers who feel the same.
Will you push for a vote? How many more?
It's hard to say. Will I push for a vote? I mean, you know what? We talked about a vote before. It's very, very difficult, as we all know, to remove a prime minister that doesn't want to be removed. There's very, very few levers that we can actually pull to make that happen. We can be vocal. We can express what we think needs to be done. We can convey what we're hearing from our ridings, which is obviously in spades that the prime minister needs to go. So I'm not sure about the vote, the secret ballot stuff. I just hope that there's enough people that finally tell the prime minister, his inner circle in particular, that it's time to step down. It's past time to step down. We see what happened in the States with Joe Biden staying longer than he should have. We saw that the Democratic Party really didn't have a leadership contest and kind of anointed Kamala Harris. there wasn't enough runway for her to actually mount, I think, the campaign that Democrats need in the States. And we are right at the doorstep of the very same issue or the very same problems happening with us in Canada. We don't want to see our party become a Kathleen Wynne part 2, where we're years coming back. We've got a lot of great things we've done. We've got a lot of great things we want to do as Liberals. We believe that government is good. But we're not going to be good if we're on the sidelines for 10 years.
How much is this going to hurt your government?
And it's the Liberal Party's own fault that they can't get rid of this Prime Minister. They brought in, or possibly took out legislation in their constitution that enabled them to get rid of a prime minister that MPs in the same party didn't want, right? There could be a vote inside of the Liberal Party and to force the prime minister to step down, pretty much. The Conservatives have this still. But yeah, the Liberals, I mean, they can whine and they complain all they want, but Trudeau doesn't have to step down. And why would Trudeau step down? He's too prideful. I think he views this election as something personal, something to amount to his pride. And yeah, he's just not going to step down. He's not that kind of person. So now the Liberals are going to have to suffer the consequences of their own actions, and hopefully they figure out after this that they're going to need to put back that legislation in their own Liberal Party constitution where they can vote a prime minister out and put in a different Liberal Party member if majority rules.
I mean, how many blows can one leader or one party take? I mean, we've been 20 to 22 points down in the polls now for pretty much a year. Whether it's foreign interference, whether it's security clearance, whether it's the HST holiday that we've come forth, we haven't moved in the polls, and we need to be able to read the room. We need to be able to listen to the electorate. They have tired on Justin Trudeau personally, and that's a big problem for all of us.
How many other cabinet ministers do you know of that feel maybe similarly to maybe Ms. Freeland or similar to those in caucus? I believe it is time for the Prime Minister to go. How many cabinet ministers?
I don't know a number. I think there's a few.
Do you think the Prime Minister is out of touch with reality?
Sorry?
Do you think the Prime Minister is out of touch with reality?
Well, I know as a Prime Minister you insulate yourself. But yeah, he's out of touch with reality right now. He needs to read the room, and he needs to listen to people around him. He needs to listen to his caucus. He needs to look at the polls. He needs to look at this country from coast to coast to coast. What demographic, what region are we strong in right now? I can't name you one.
Have you spoken to your other colleagues today since?
Yes.
What's the sentiment? What are you hearing?
Any comment on
is growing that he has to go.
What is that going to look like?
Hard to say. We'll see what unfolds today and over the next couple of days, but come on, it's time.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Long.
So it seems like he has the exact same idea that most Canadians do. Come on, it's time, Trudeau. It's time to nut up and get out. And maybe your party will survive. I doubt it, but you never know. Crazy things do happen.
To once again reflect on that. And look, we are facing a very significant challenge. We need strength, we need unity, we need a strong leader, and I think that we should all reflect on that.
Sorry, I guess you think the Prime Minister should step down?
I think you should reflect on what's the best for the party and what's the best for Canada at this very crucial moment in our history where we are facing a significant threat, and we need strength, we need unity. That's what we need.
What do you think the best
français?
What do you think the best move for the party is?
I think the Prime Minister have a reflection to make. I hope he will. I'm confident he will, but we need a change, we need a strong leadership, and we need unity across Canada, across the provinces.
I don't really get where these politicians get off on calling the United States a threat. Or are they just calling Trump a threat? Because that's pretty harsh language for what he actually is. I mean, I'd say obstacle at best, maybe. To be completely honest, the only thing Trump was really asking us was to increase our border security, which our government is freaking out about. And to be completely honest, it's actually a good idea. Hey.
Ce que je pense, c'est pas la première fois qu'on l'invite à regarder. C'est pas la première fois qu'on demande au Premier ministre de réfléchir à son avenir et pour le bien du parti.
Okay, and it looks like that is going to be about it. We're running a little late here. We're already at about 20 minutes, and it looks like it's just going to be French left, and probably the same thing over and over. So, in conclusion, honestly, I think the best thing for the Liberal Party right now is for Justin Trudeau to step down. And that's the only way the Liberal Party is going to even start to heal. I don't think they're going to win. I highly doubt they're going to win the next election. But if Justin Trudeau steps down, they might be able to save some of their dominant seats, let's say. Because if Trudeau stays in, I mean, like I said earlier, they could become an insignificant party in Parliament. They could just be sitting as backbenchers like the Green Party. Or, I mean, at best, at least at best to what I think is they will become like the People's Party of Canada where nobody votes for them and they just become a niche party for the next umpteenth years, licking their wounds. So that would be good too. But what do you guys think? What do you think would be a good thing for the Liberal Party to do? Leave your answers in the chat below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And other than that, have a great day.